Welcome back! Today we're jumping right into an explainer on what absolutely has to be one of the most wildly dramatic opening matches in recent tournament history. I mean, the FIFA World Cup 2026 opener between Mexico and South Africa. Wow. This wasn't just your standard feel-it-out first game. It was a total roller coaster, literally from the very first whistle. We're going to break down exactly how this incredible event unfolded, mapping out the tactics, the triumphs, and, well, the sheer chaos.
Okay, let's dive into this, because right off the bat, we have a pretty staggering number to look at. Three red cards were handed out in this single opening game. That is a shocking, historic flurry of ejections that completely threw the tactical script out the window. To understand how we actually arrived at that total breakdown in discipline, we really need to rewind to the beginning and look at how the pressure mounted on the pitch.
Act 1. A fiery start for Mexico. Right from kickoff, Mexico didn't just casually stroll out to feel out their opponents. No way. They brought this explosive, highly structured energy to the field, setting the tempo instantly. If you look at the progression of just the first 9 minutes, it's undeniable. By the 4th minute, guys like Reyes and Jimenez were already applying immense, suffocating pressure on the ball. And then, at exactly the 9-minute mark, the dam breaks. A critical defensive error involving South Africa's backline and goalkeeper Ronwen Williams leaves the ball totally exposed. Alcaidezia striker Julian Quiñones pounces instantly, capitalizes on the mistake with a brilliant turn, and boom, slots in the very first goal of the tournament.
You know, the commentary booth absolutely erupted. The passion radiating from the broadcast was just infectious. Goal, 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 goal! Quiñones opens the scoring for Mexico. What I love about the source audio here is just the pure, unfiltered emotion. The broadcaster even joked that the celebrating Mexican fans were so incredibly loud they could probably be heard up on the moon and Mars. It perfectly captures the pure electricity of that opening moment.
Act 2. Mexican dominance and missed chances. Usually, an early goal either forces the leading team into a defensive shell or it completely opens the floodgates. Well, in this case, the tension just kept building exponentially. Look at the sheer volume of key action in the rest of that first half. Mexico was launching these lightning-fast counterattacks that were honestly dizzying to watch. Quiñones smashed a shot right off the post, and later tried a super clever chip to catch the keeper off his line. Gutierrez narrowly missed a beautiful strike, but South Africa's goalkeeper, Williams, he was an absolute wall. Despite that early mistake, he practically single-handedly kept his team in the game. He made these brilliant point-blank saves against Gallardo and Jimenez. Without his heroics, honestly, this could have been a total blowout by halftime.
Act 3, Jimenez seals it with a header. Moving into the 67th minute, an exquisite cross from Roberto Alvarado perfectly finds Raul Jimenez, who rises up and delivers a textbook header right into the corner of the net.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer pedigree of the player we're talking about. With that header, the Fulham striker notched his 46th national team goal in his 125th international match. 46 goals! It's an incredible milestone. As the commentary rightly pointed out, a player of his supreme caliber and experience is practically destined to score in a crucial, high-stakes moment like this. He delivered exactly when his country needed to lock down the match.
Act 4. Historic red card chaos. Now, what's really interesting about this final chapter of the match is how on-field discipline completely vanished.
Right in the middle of this brewing storm was the official, Wilton Pereira Sampaio. He actually made history himself just by stepping onto the pitch as the first Brazilian to referee a World Cup opening match. But, little did he know, he was about to face the highly stressful, basically unprecedented task of managing an absolute on-field meltdown as frustrations boiled over and the desperate fouls really started to pile up.
Let's break down this flurry of ejections impartially to see exactly what went down. First, South Africa's Yaya Sithole was shown a straight red for denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity with a foul right on the edge of the 18-yard line. Remarkably, that was only the 5th red card in the entire history of World Cup opening matches. But it didn't stop there. Later in the second half, his teammate Swane was sent off for a foul that actually went almost completely unnoticed at first in the frantic pace of the game. And finally, Mexico wasn't immune either. Lokomotiv Moscow defender Cesar Montes saw red for a last defender foul dragging down an attacker. 3 massive expulsions.
To give you a clear sense of just how rare this is historically, because of Sithole and Zwane's dismissals, South Africa became only the second team in the long history of the World Cup to receive 2 red cards in a single opening match. The only other time this happened? Cameroon, all the way back in 1990 against Argentina. It's an incredibly tough statistical club to join, and playing 2 men down deeply compromised South Africa's structural integrity for the rest of the game.
So, the crucial point is 2-0. Despite the frantic counterattacks, the balls hitting the post, the brilliant saves by Williams, and that crazy historic flurry of red cards, Mexico definitively secured a 2-0 victory. They capitalized on early pressure, remained clinical when that perfect cross arrived for Jimenez, and expertly managed to close out the game against a heavily depleted South African squad. A massive, commanding statement win.
But every action has a reaction, right? Which leaves us staring at the larger picture. Will these historic red card absences derail the World Cup journey for both of these teams moving forward? South Africa now faces their next highly competitive group stage matches, missing 2 key players, and Mexico has lost a vital pillar of their defense in Montes. A win is a win, but the price paid on opening day was immensely steep. It's a fascinating tactical dilemma, and one I know we'll all be watching closely. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep using these breakdowns to learn efficiently, and I'll catch you next time.